Power, power, power. Come in today to check out. All right, never mind. You guys ever listen to those monster truck commercials and they talk big or the automotive? I just thought it'd be a little bit of fun. So you own a Stihl MS 311 chainsaw. Great chainsaw for somebody who's looking for something a little bigger, maybe getting into some larger rounds, something in the 2-foot range. Here's your saw right here. So you own it, you bought it. Now you need to know about it. So let's back up. Let's talk about some of the important stuff so that you can get the most out of this chainsaw on the safety side, as well as on the maintenance, fuel, oil side. So let's start with safety, because guys, first things first, we got a lot of power, a lot of power that could do a little bit of damage. So safety, a helmet, okay? You're falling a tree, you got a dead limb up there, that thing comes down. That's why we want to wear a helmet when we're running a chainsaw. It's also really nice to have that face guard on here, the face shield, and obviously earmuffs, right? These things are loud. We've got a lot of noise coming out of them. So check out the Stihl helmets. Comfortable, easy to put on, take off, flip the earmuffs up, out of the way, so you can talk to your partner as you're moving about the woods there. Chaps, protect these legs right here. I would recommend, if you get into the larger chainsaws like an MS 311, that we look at a 9-layer chap, something a little bit heavier, something that has a little bit more stopping power in case something goes sideways. And it's not a bad idea to have a pair of gloves, as well as probably some safety glasses, because sometimes you get some debris getting through this face shield here. Now let's talk about fuel oil. Okay, this is a 2-cycle machine, right? So we're gonna either mix, I like my Stihl Ultra, I'm gonna mix this with 1 gallon of ethanol-free fuel, or maybe you're not a constant user. Maybe this is something you take out every few months or 6 months and do some work, so you know it's gonna be sitting a lot. It's a good time to think about Stihl Moto Mix. Not only is it good for those users that don't use it all the time, it's also a great way to hibernate, to store the machine. So Stihl Moto Mix, this is pre-mixed, ready to use fuel. It is ethanol-free, it is blended, manufactured for Stihl 2-cycle machinery. It's awesome. And then we also have bar oil. So fuel's gonna go right here, flip lid, quarter turn, pops out, nice and easy. Bar oil is gonna go on the front one. Again, flip the lid up, quarter turn, pop it out. Every time you fill the gas, the fuel, you should fill the bar oil. And I highly recommend when we get into the MS 311, it's gonna be running a bar larger than a 20-inch, that we look at the platinum bar oil. So a little thicker, a little tackier, it holds on a little better. We've got a bigger bar, so let's run a little heavier bar oil. The Stihl Platinum is a great way to go. Let's talk about starting, okay? You've got fuel in it, you've got bar oil in it, you've got your safety gear on. Now you gotta start this machine up. Take the scabbard off. So first things first, I want to put the brake on, okay? Now that chain won't spin. Let me take the brake off. Chain spins, brake on, chain does not. Okay, so I want to set the brake, and then I'm going to come to this master control lever, and that's right here on the side. In order to engage that, I squeeze the trigger. See if I can hold it this way, all the way down. This is the choke position. In the choke position, I'm going to pull it generally 3 times. Maybe 2, maybe 4, you'll learn it, and it's gonna pop, it's gonna fire, but it's not gonna start. Then I manually come up 1 notch. This is the start position. And in this position, when I pull the rope, the sucker's gonna take off. And it's gonna be going at a high speed. As soon as I click the trigger, did you see it pop up there? It returned to the run position, the idle position, and then all the way up is off. Once it's warm, you just have to turn it on, pull the rope, and go. We have on the side here this black button. This is your compression release. When that is depressed, it makes it easier to pull, okay? Really nice when you got a bigger chainsaw, easier on the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, the whole body, right? To start it, it automatically pops out as soon as this thing starts. So when I go to start this MS 311 chainsaw and it's cold, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna set the brake, I'm gonna hit the compression release, I'm gonna put it on choke, I'm gonna pull, pull, pull. I'm gonna hear it burp, fire. I'm gonna take it off choke, pull it again, it's gonna start, and I'm off and I'm running. As soon as it does start, and I've returned it to idle, I'll take that brake off. It's time to start cutting. something that's hidden under here. Right down in here is a little screw. You see it in there? Let me put the screwdriver on it. Right there is a little screw. If I turn it clockwise, I believe, clockwise increases the oil flow, counterclockwise decreases the oil flow. If I'm running a bar this big, 25 inch, I want that thing wide open. If I'm dropping down to a 20 or an 18, I might be able to turn it down a little bit, save some of my oil consumption, keep some of the mess away. So we got the starting, we got the bar oil adjustment. Let's real quick look at the chain tensioner. It's typical. You know how a Stihl chainsaw chain tensioning works? If not, check it out. We're gonna loosen the bar nuts. We're gonna take the flathead screwdriver and right in the middle is where I loosen. So my chain's really loose. See all that slack there? Or clockwise, tighten. And we do have a separate video on how to tension your chain. That's probably the best thing, is to go check that video out after this so you can learn about chain tensioning. Let's take off the bar cover real quick. Your machine will have come with a bar wrench, I hope. If not, I'm sorry. Go back to your dealer and say, you forgot my bar wrench. Let's take this cover off. Let's take this bar and chain off. Something I really like about this machine is it has an external sprocket. So right here is our chain sprocket. Really easy to take the chain on and off. Really easy to replace it as it wears. And this is a wear item. So as you start seeing this thing wear down and the chain is biting in and eating into this sprocket, not a bad idea to replace it. It's fairly simple. With a little flat-headed screwdriver, I can pop this clip off, washer off, pull the sprocket off, pop a new one on. When you have it off, not a bad idea to replace the bearing in there, or at least lubricate it with some grease. Let's take a look at the air filter. How do we get into the air filter? 1, 2, 3 screws on the top. That's going to get me into the top of the engine here, so we'll loosen these all the way up. And this is, you can take these loose with either a flat-headed screwdriver or the Stihl T27 torque wrench if you have one of those sitting around for you. There we go. Cover off. Air filter. Quarter to half a turn, it comes off. This is cleanable. I can brush it off, I can wash it off. Washing it works good. Just make sure after you wash it that you don't put it right back on, you let it dry for a while. Something I want to point out that I get asked about often is the winter summer shutter. And this little black piece right here that slides out of the top is considered a winter summer shutter. So when the sun is on the top and you look at it, what that means is that the air from the engine is restricted from getting back to the intake, okay? So it's trying to keep the hot air away from the intake. When the snowflake is on the top, it's allowing more heat, more air from the engine to get back to the intake to prevent what's called carburetor icing. And that can happen in extreme conditions. I've had it happen one time. It was about 24 degrees out. It was snowy. It was windy. It was a northeaster, right? Just nasty out. And it iced up. Unless you're under 30 degrees, I would never touch this. The fear is if you do it wrong, you can actually damage the saw. So if you forget to switch it back and you have the snowflake on in the summertime and it's 70, 80 degrees out, you're gonna roast your saw. So most people just keep it on the sun, probably all the time until you have a problem. So again, that just slides in here, bam, in place, good to go. If that's missing, replace it, or you're gonna have some problems. Spark plug is gonna be right here on the top. With the Stihl spark plug boot, they are always really tight out of the box. So just be careful when you take it off that you don't rip it off and pull the spark plug boot off, or you're gonna cost yourself some money. And then the fuel filter is hiding in the tank. I'd probably do that every few years. Maybe just take it in for a service every 2 or 3 years, depending on the use you're putting to it. So there you go, the Stihl MS 311 chainsaw. That's a real quick overview. Traditionally gonna run a 25-inch bar and chain. We got options on chains in stock at your local dealership. You got your owner's manual, Stihl MS 311, same as the MS 391 as far as data and how to run it. So refer back to this owner's manual if you have any questions. Again, thanks for checking out the Stihl MS 311 chainsaw. Enjoy it. It's going to be a great saw for your property.
Hey, this is Josh from Carl's Mower and Saw. Thanks for watching our videos. We're proud of the fact that we've been serving you with the best in outdoor power equipment since 1990. We're glad that you had an opportunity to sit down, watch our videos, learn something about an exciting new product that we have, something that interests you for your property, or really how to use your equipment to the best of its ability. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. We're excited to share more information with you. See you soon.